guys, welcome back to my vlog. This week we're going to be talking about the top 10 tips any underwater photographer should know. Let's get on into it. The most important rule I can give any underwater photographer is safety first. Make sure you're aware of your surroundings since you're in a totally new environment. When diving, you want to make sure you have great buoyancy so you don't crush any of the coral reefs while you're taking photographs. And if you feel unsafe while diving with a species, make sure to remove yourself from the water. So when purchasing your cameras, housing, lenses, start simple. Don't go out on the first gear you get since obviously you're not going to keep that your whole entire photography career as you will upgrade as you get more advanced. So don't purchase the most expensive camera on your first go around. If you don't have to spend $10,000 on gear, don't. Go for the cheaper options as when you're learning, you'll find out what works for you, what you want, and then you can upgrade from there. Before going on any dive, make sure to know your camera settings. Before going out in the open water, try testing out your camera in a pool or other environment where you can test the speed, settings, and other things like that to make sure you're comfortable and you know what you want to use when you're out in the water. Make sure to consider your shutter speed before going out in the open water because depending on how fast you swim, that'll affect how your pictures look. Knowing your dive area is key to great underwater photography. Before going, do some research on how you plan on getting to and from your dive location and learn some facts about the area around your dive location. Do your research in determining issues or struggles you might have while getting to your dive location or getting back from your dive location. In the end, it'll just make the whole process that much easier so you have a game plan ahead of time, knowing what you plan on doing, how long you plan on going down for, and how you plan on getting back. Timing is everything when it comes to underwater photography, so make sure you plan accordingly. Know the amount of air that you have in your oxygen tank since that will determine how long you are going to be staying underneath the surface. When dealing with wildlife, you do have to anticipate the shot, so you have to be a couple steps ahead of the marine species. Some important tips when dealing with marine species are, don't shoot more than 2 or 3 feet away. It puts too much water in your shot and then it doesn't look as good. Also, don't try to shoot through water and isolate species instead of trying to take a wide photograph of many species all together. It'll make the shot look more clean and professional. Before heading out in the water, make sure you do some research on the species that you plan on taking photos of. Know where they live, what time of day they're about, how fast they swim, what they eat, when they migrate, and their behavioral patterns. This way, you'll be super prepared when it's time to photograph these amazing species in their natural habitats. Make sure to stay comfortable when you are dealing with underwater photography. Know your limits when it comes to diving in the day, night, temperature of the water, time of year, and location, so you're not stepping too far out of your comfort zone to where it'll be an issue. Know how you feel in your dive equipment and how each of those items work, as well as how much oxygen you do have in your tank, because that is very important. Make sure when you are taking your photos that you can put your own twist on it. You don't want to be like every other underwater photographer with the same exact pictures of the same species. Also, underwater photography isn't just about the photo itself, it's about the editing that goes onto the photos. Make sure to add your own unique perspective onto your photos and let that work show. When taking photos underwater, make sure to have some sort of flash equipment separate from your camera. This way it'll help your camera autofocus better on the species you're trying to photograph, and it can help better capture those images. And lastly, make sure to have the correct lenses that you want to have underwater with you while you're taking photos. Know the types of shots you want to get, whether it's getting large species or small species. So that'll affect the lenses you need, such as macro, fisheye, wide lens, etc. And since you can't change housing underwater, once the lens is on the camera, that's what has to stay. So be prepared beforehand to know which lenses you will need so you won't have to worry about, oh man, I have the wrong lens on my camera. And that'll ensure that you have the best pictures of the species you intended on taking pictures of. That's it for this week's vlog. Make sure to tune in next week to see the most important tips any scuba diver should know. See you then!